What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, it's Daniel and welcome back in our video. Today, I'll be taking a look at every single NASCAR Throwback paint scheme for this weekend at Darlington Raceway. This will be all the Cup paint schemes and the Xfinity paint schemes for this weekend for the teams that are doing throwbacks. So anyways, let's go ahead and just jump straight into it. Let's first take a look at all the Cup Series throwbacks. The first one we're taking a look at is Austin Cindric's. Austin Cindric is going to be doing a throwback to Dale Earnhardt's scheme from 1979 to 1980, which was a throwback to, of course, when he drove for Rod Osterlund, when I believe he drove the number 2 machine back in the day. I think this actually is almost pretty spot on. I know it's very simplistic, but the 2 car that Dale Earnhardt drove many, many years ago was very simplistic. I know some have not rated this game very, very highly, but I think that they nailed this one. I love the simplicity of this. It's got that old school look. It looks really awesome, and I think it's an awesome looking throwback that Team Penske is doing. The next throwback we're taking a look at is Noah Gragson's. Noah Gragson is doing a throwback to Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s scheme from 1996 when he made his NASCAR Xfinity Series debut at Myrtle Beach. He had the number 31 there. I think this one is almost pretty much spot on. The number font is absolutely perfect. The color of the number is great. The sponsorship is in the correct places. I think the front of it looks really, really good. Everything about this one's really good. This is an underrated one in my opinion, and I think it's going to look really good out on the racetrack. It looks really, really good. The next throwback we're taking a look at is Kyle Larson's. Kyle Larson's is going to be doing a throwback to Terry Labonte's scheme from 2003. The one that had Got Milk and all the other good ones as well. This to me is my favorite throwback that we have seen so far for this year. I think this is the winner right here. It's got the tiger stripes. The number font's been changed for this weekend. You've got all the other stuff. The red on the side, it was perfect for Terry Labonte's scheme back in the day. And I think this one is absolutely spot on and perfect. It looks amazing. I think Hendrick knocked this one out of the park, and I think it's going to look really good out on the racetrack on Sunday. I think it's the best one we've seen so far. The next throwback we're taking a look at is Chase Elliott's. Now, Chase Elliott is doing a throwback to Ken Schrader's scheme from 1994. Unlike the Larson one, this is the worst throwback paint scheme I think I have seen this year. This one is not even close to it. Number one, the color of the number is not at all correct. The color for the number was a black one. This is a gold one for whatever reason. And the colors just don't mismatch at all. They mismatch. They don't look great at all. And I think the color scheme is way off. It is the worst one I think I've seen so far. The next throwback paint scheme we are taking a look at is Ty Dillon's. Now, Ty Dillon is doing a throwback to Patty Moise's 1989 NASCAR Xfinity Series car. This one is very, very good. And what's really cool about this one is, one, the number is in the correct places when it comes to sponsorship. But number two, they've got the same sponsors that Patty Moise had back in 1989. So that gives absolute pointers and is definitely one of the more underrated ones I have seen. But this one looks amazing, and I think the College Racing absolutely knocked this one out of the park. I think it looks absolutely incredible. The next throwback we're taking a look at is Denny Hamlin's. Denny Hamlin is going to be doing a throwback to Carl Edwards' car from 2005 to 2008. I think this could honestly be the primary scheme. This is one of my favorite ones, plus I grew up being a Carl Edwards fan back in the day. I think they nailed this one for sure. It looks really, really good. I think Joe Gibbs Racing should get a lot of points for this one, and I think this is one of the top 5 ones we've seen for this year, not just in Cup, but the Xfinity Series as well. The next throwback we're taking a look at is Ryan Blaney's. Now, Ryan Blaney is doing a throwback to his father, Dave Blaney's car that he had in 2006, when, of course, Dave Blaney went on to win as Charlotte, the only time he won in NASCAR's top 3 divisions. I will say that it does look really, really good. I do think the color is a little bit off compared to the one that Dave Blaney's has, so that's a little bit less for me. But I do think the number of the color looks good, and I think some of the other stuff looks good on the car. I think it's good that he is doing a throwback to his father. I think it's the first time he's doing a throwback to his father, I'm pretty sure. So I think it's definitely a pretty good one, all things considered. The next throwback we're taking a look at is Christopher Bell's. Christopher Bell is doing a throwback to his racing mentor, Rick Ferkel. I've seen the sprint cars, and I think it's cool he's doing it to his mentor. I'm not the biggest fan of this car, however. I hope this is the only time we do see this car personally. I'm not a big fan of this one. I think the color doesn't look great on this one, and it's probably one of my least favorite throwbacks that I've seen so far this year. The next throwback we're taking a look at is Josh Berry's. Josh Berry is doing a throwback to Jim Clark's car in the Indianapolis 500. A big backstory on this one. This, of course, was when the Wood brothers were the pit crew for Jim Clark, and they went on to win the 1965 Indy 500. I think it's pretty much spot on from the Indy car. I think it looks really awesome. I think it looks fantastic, and I think that the Wood brothers absolutely knocked this one out of the park. The next throwback we're taking a look at is Joey Logano's throwback. Joey Logano is going to be doing a throwback to Cale Yarborough's 1976 scheme. I love the colors on this, and I think that changing up the number font is great. But when I think of the 1970s, I think of this yellow muted color. It looks really, really good, and I think they knocked this one out. I don't think this one's ever been done before, but I think this one looks great. It looks spectacular. I think Logano and the Penske team have a really good throwback for this weekend. The next throwback we're taking a look at is William Byron's. William Byron is going to be doing a throwback to Jeff Gordon's final ride in the number 24 car back in 2015. This one's pretty much spot on. I get that some people are kind of tired of the Exalta schemes, but I think this is absolutely spot on. This is one of the best ones I think we've seen this year. I love the gray color on it, and I don't think there's much to say because you got the sponsor right, you got everything right, and I think it's one of the best ones we have seen so far. I think it absolutely looks really good, and I think the colors match perfectly to the old one. The next throwback we're taking a look at is Todd Gilliland's. Todd Gilliland is going to be doing a throwback to Ray Fox's car from the 1960s and the 50s. This one, I think, is really, really good, and I think it's awesome that they're doing an honored tradition to Ray Fox. I think this one is perfect. I think the number's correct on it. I love the change of the number font, and I think about this is a really, really good one. I think it's one of the better ones we've seen for sure. The next throwback we're taking a look at is Zane Smith. Zane Smith is doing a throwback to an old school Long John Silver's car. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of this one. The same one they ran last year for Todd Gilliland, they didn't change anything, so I don't really have much to say other than that. I think it's a little bit lackluster, to be honest, and I think it's one of the worst ones we've seen this year because they decided not to change anything, which gets a loss of points, in my honest opinion. The next throwback paint scheme we're taking a look at is Cole Custer. Cole Custer is doing a throwback to Jimmy Spencer's car from 2002. This one is really, really good. I think the only thing that's different is the number font a little bit. They didn't change it up there. But I've been wanting to see more Jimmy Spencer throwbacks, and I'm glad to see Jimmy Spencer is getting recognized by a lot of people. Jimmy Spencer almost won races in his target machine, and I think it is definitely one of the good ones. I think it's a nice look at throwback for sure. The next throwback paint scheme we're taking a look at is John Hunter Nemechek's. John Hunter Nemechek is doing a throwback to his father's scheme from 1998, the Bell South car. Now, a lot of people weren't fans of this car, but I will defend this scheme. It changed every couple weeks, it seems like, so I guess you can say it's good. I still think it's not great by any stretch of imagination, but I do think it's cool that John Hunter is doing a throwback to his father from 1998. The next throwback we're taking a look at is Eric Jones's. Eric Jones is doing a throwback to John Andretti. I think it's cool they're doing one to his 1998 scheme. I think it's pretty good. It's got the SCP look, kind of. I don't think the SCP sponsorship is there, unfortunately, on the car, but I think it does look really good, and I do think that Legacy did a pretty solid job, all things considered. I think it is an absolutely nice-looking paint scheme. I think it's a really good one. The next throwback we're taking a look at is J.J. Yeley's. J.J. Yeley is doing a throwback to Bill Elliott's scheme from 1985. This is one of the most underrated ones that just got revealed earlier today. It's pretty much spot on. Everything's correct on this. The sponsorship placement is correct. The number font is correct. The colors are perfectly spot on. I think this is one that's going to be completely underrated, and I think it's a really nice looking throwback for sure. Next throwback we're taking a look at is Alex Bowman's. Alex Bowman is doing a throwback to the 200th win for Hendrick Motorsports in the NASCAR Cup Series from the 2012 Southern 500. We've seen this one done before back in 2018. I'm glad they're doing a little bit of tradition of the 200th, but it's definitely one of my least favorite ones I've seen this year. I've got not much to say other than that. I think it's not that great. It's okay, but it's not that great overall, and I don't have much to say other than that. The final Cup throwback we're taking a look at is Cody Ware's. Cody Ware is doing a throwback to the competition director from Rick Ware Racing, Tommy Bowen, from the 90s to the early 2000s. This is, of course, when he was a crew chief for Ward Burn, when, of course, he won the 2002 Daytona 500 and the 2001 Southern 500 as well. I think it's pretty much spot on from the original one, and I think that Rick Ware Racing knocked this one out of the park, and it's absolutely a really nice-looking throwback. So that's the Cup Series. Now let's go to the NASCAR Xfinity Series, which I think Xfinity has one throwback weekend. Let's first talk about Carson Quaffle. Carson Quaffle is doing a throwback to Jane McMurray's scheme from 2010. This is straight up spot on. Everything's perfect on it. The number's correct. The sponsorship's in the correct places. Everything about it is amazing. I think that Junior Motorsports knocked this one out of the park. I think it's one of the best throwbacks we have seen. Good to see McMurray getting recognized. I think it's a great one. The next throwback we're taking a look at is Parker Retzlaff's. Parker Retzlaff is doing a throwback to Ernie Irvan's car from the early 1990s when he drove the Kodak car. This is one of the best ones. Everything's perfect. The Kodak, I see it there. I see the yellow. Everything about it is amazing. It gets the picture look. It's incredible. I think it's one of the best throwbacks, and I think it's an absolutely amazing, and it's got a lot of beauty to it. It's a fantastic looking throwback. The next throwback paint scheme we're taking a look at is Justin Allgaier's. Now, this is the same throwback that we saw last year from Justin Allgaier. I was a fan of the one from last year. I do wish they changed it. They could have done something different from the 7, maybe done like the Ed Whitaker car that some people mentioned that Dale Jr. drove, I believe in 1996 or 1997. That's the one they could have done. I think it looks okay, but it's not the best looking throwback because you've already seen it before. The next throwback we're taking a look at is Sammy Smith. Sammy Smith is doing a throwback to Dale Jr.'s car from 2003, the 3 doors down car. This is almost spot on in my opinion. Everything's correct on it. I think they nailed it. It looks really, really good. This one he drove, I believe, at Michigan back in 03. I think it's a good looking one. I think that Junior Motorsports absolutely knocked this one out of the park as one of the better throwbacks. The next throwback we're taking a look at is Daniel Dice. Daniel Dice is going to be throwing it back to Adam Petty's car from 1999. I think this one looks really, really good. I think the scheme's in a really, really good position. Everything about it's good. They're honoring Adam Petty. We haven't seen many Adam Petty throwbacks before, so I think it looks really, really great, and it's a solid-looking car. The next throwback we're taking a look at is Nick Lights. Nick Lights is doing a throwback to Scott Riggs from, I believe, 2004 or 2005. This is straight up spot on. This one I did not get recognized too much by the throwback page, and I'm most surprised it wasn't recognized too much because it is a really, really good throwback, and I think it's a good one that Xfinity is doing. I love to see that car out on the track. The next throwback we're taking a look at is Josh Williams's. Josh Williams is doing a throwback to Mark Martin's car from 2007. Personally, when I see this car, I look at it more like a Regan Smith throwback from 2008, the Principal Financial car that he had, but I still think it looks really, really good. I think if they had a different color on it than the original one they got here, it would be perfect, but I do like this car. It doesn't look like the U.S. Army car completely, but I think it's a pretty solid run for Kaulig Racing, all things considered. The next throwback we're taking a look at is Garrett Smithley's throwback to Terry Labonte's scheme from 1993, I believe in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. This one is actually pretty good. I will say the colors look a little bit muted compared to the other one, but I think it's one that's a little underrated, to be honest, because the color on the number is great, and I think a lot of things about it do look good, and I love that the sponsor decided to play along with it as well. It's pretty good. The next throwback we're taking a look at is William Sawalch's. William Sawalch is doing a throwback to Kyle Busch's scheme from 2016 when Kyle Busch won 10 of the 17 races that year when that car tormented the field. This is pretty much spot on in my opinion. It's got the NOS Energy look. It's got the sponsors in the correct places. Everything about this one does look very solid, and I do think that Joe Gibbs Racing knocked this one out of the park as one of the better throwbacks we have seen this year. The next throwback we're taking a look at is Christopher Bell's. Christopher Bell is once again doing a throwback to Rick Ferkel. This one is so much better than the other one that he's got in Cup. I love this one. It looks really good. I think this one he should have ran for Cup in all honesty because I think it actually looks really solid. I think it looks better definitely on an Xfinity car than a Cup car. This one looks so much better than the other one that we saw. The next throwback we're taking a look at is Brandon Jones. Brandon Jones is doing a throwback to Matt Kenseth's 2013 car when he had Dollar General and, of course, Menard, other car sponsors on the car. Everything about this actually looks really good. The only thing I'd like to change is the Home Depot back. I do think they should have gotten orange on the back. They could have had Tide as a sponsor on the front and then the back as well. But other than that, I think this one does look good. It's one of the lesser Xfinity throwbacks, which just says how good the Xfinity Series is with their throwbacks this year, but it still is pretty good. The next throwback we're taking a look at is Harrison Burton's. Harrison Burton is doing a throwback to Jeff Burton's car from 2000, the Sitco car. This is spot on. One of the best ones I've seen. Everything's perfect. The color is correct. The sponsorship is correct in front. The number color is incredible. Everything about this one is amazing. It's perfect. It looks good. And when you look at it, I look at the Sitco car. I think it's very, very good. The next throwback we're taking a look at is Dean Thompson's. Dean Thompson is doing a throwback to Jay McMurray's car from 2009. This car looks so much better on an Xfinity car than it looks on the COT. This looks really, really good. And honestly, if they wanted to run this car a couple times, they should. Everything about this is perfect. It looks really, really good. They nailed this, and it's even better than the original Cup one with the COT ugly box that it was. I think this one is definitely better. The next throwback we're taking a look at is Jeb Burton's. Jeb Burton is doing a throwback to Ward Burton's car that he drove in when he was a rookie in the NASCAR Cup Series in 1994, the Hardee's car. I think this one is solid for sure. I will say it's one of the lesser Xfinity ones. I'm glad to see a Jeb's doing a throwback to his father and doing a different one that many people don't think about. But I think it's an underrated one. It's not amazing though, but I still think it does look all right for sure. It's okay. The next throwback we're taking a look at is Kyle Siegs. Kyle Siegs is doing a throwback to Ricky Rudd's Havoline car from 2002. This one's really, really good. When I think of it, I think of the Havoline car. I think of what it was, the yellow, everything about it. I look at the car from 02. It looks very, very good. Glad to see Night Owl play along with it, and I think it's definitely one of the more underrated ones that we've seen for sure this year. The next throwback paint scheme we're taking a look at is Greg Van Alst. Greg Van Alst will be doing a throwback to Ryan Reed's scheme from around 2015 to around 2017. This one looks really, really good in my opinion. I do think that the Joey Gates Motorsports team knocked this one out of the park. I think the cars actually look really, really solid on the scheme. I like the 35 car overall. They did a pretty good job on this one, and I think it's going to be a really nice one that we'll definitely see on the racetrack at Darlington Raceway this weekend. The next throwback we're taking a look at is Ryan Siegs. Ryan Siegs is doing a throwback to Dale Jarrett's reverse car from 1999, the different Ford Quality Care machine. This one's pretty good. I still like the 28 a lot better than the 39, but I think they actually did a pretty good job on this. Not many people think about the reverse scheme that Dale Jarrett had in the 1999 season when, of course, he won the championship, but I still think it looks solid. I do think it looks good. The next throwback we're taking a look at is Sam Mayers. Sam Mayers is doing a throwback to Kurt Busch's car from 2017 when, of course, he went on to win the Daytona 500. I love the grass touch on the front of it as well. It gives that thing that we're looking for, and I love they're kind of doing what they did on some of them. I think this is a really, really good one for sure. Pretty underrated, and I'm glad to see they're doing a throwback to this because I think it's actually a very solid looking one. The next throwback we're taking a look at is, Anthony Alfredo's. Anthony Alfredo is doing a throwback to Sterling Marlin and Jay McMurray's car from 2005. It's got the 42 number logo, and it's got the number 40 machine that we saw Sterling Marlin drive, the Coors car. You're going to basically tell me every time that it's going to be a great one. I think this one is nailed. It's perfect. Everything about it is great. If you can do a Coors throwback and do a good job, you win a lot in my opinion. I think this is one of the best throwbacks for sure for this year. The next throwback we're taking a look at is Brendan Pools. Brendan Pools doing a throwback to Jeff Gordon's Looney Tunes car from 2001. I love they got Brendan Poole as a Looney Tunes character on the front. I love they've got the sponsors playing along with it. The Lays, the Fritos, look, everything about it. This is a scheme that not many people talk about nowadays, but I think it's one that should have gotten recognized, and I'm glad to see it will be getting recognized this weekend at Darlington. The next throwback we're taking a look at is Mason Massey's. Mason Massey is doing a throwback to Jimmy Spencer's No Bull car from 1999. When I looked at the original scheme, it's almost spot on. I will say there's a few things they definitely could have done for sure to make it a little bit different. It does look solid. I think Alpha Prime, this is probably my least favorite one of the Alpha Prime ones, but it's still very, very good, which shows how good Alpha Prime schemes were for this year. I think this is definitely a solid looking one. The next throwback we're taking a look at is Nick Sanchez's throwback. He is doing a throwback to Bobby Unser's in 1975 Indianapolis 500 car. Honestly, I've seen a lot of people not like this one, but it's very much spot on to the Indy car that was ran in 75. I think this one's actually one that not many people talked about, which is surprising. So I think it's actually pretty solid. It's not amazing. I don't think it should run outside of the throwback weekend, but I do think it's decent. The next throwback we're taking a look at is Jeremy Clements' throwback to Harry Gant from 1985. I'm always a sucker for Harry Gant throwbacks. If they're done good, they're done good. This one's done really, really good. It's almost spot on to the one Harry Gant ran in 1985. It's very good looking, and I think that the team over there, Jeremy Clements, did a very solid job on this one for sure. It looks good. The next throwback we're looking at is Leland Honeyman Jr.'s throwback to Jeff Green from 2000. The Nesquik car. We have not seen the Nesquik car as a throwback in the 10 years we've seen it. And I think this is one that should have been done a long time ago. And I'm glad to see that the Cope Racing team is doing it. This one looks very, very good. It's almost spot on. The sponsorship is correct. The chocolate milk on the side of the car. This is a very good looking car. It looks very solid from the Cope Racing family team. The next throwback we're taking a look at is Ryan Ellis's. Ryan Ellis is doing a throwback to himself from his Legends Cars days back in 2001. When I saw the photo of the Legends car, I gotta say it does look almost accurate and spot on to that one. There are a few things I would have changed with this one for sure to be almost accurate, but I'm glad to see that he's doing a throwback to that. So I do think it's a solid throwback, all things considered, for Ryan Ellis. I think it's actually all right. The next throwback we're looking at is Connor Zilich's. Connor Zilich is doing a throwback to Buddy Baker's Crisco car from 1986 or 1987. I saw the photo. This is spot on. They've got the sponsor playing along with it with the WeatherTech look. The chrome number. I love the chrome number, and I love that WeatherTech on the side. I think this one is very, very good, and I think that Junior Motorsports knocked this one out of the park. And the final throwback we're looking at is Matt DiBenedetto's. Matt DiBenedetto is doing a throwback to Jeff Burton's car that he had in 2000. I gotta say, this one does look very good. I think Harrison's actually is a little bit better than Matt DiBenedetto's. I think Matty D has done this one before in the Cup Series about a decade ago, but I'm a sucker for Jeff Burton throwbacks. This one does look very good, and I think they knocked this one out of the park for this year for sure for Matt DiBenedetto and the team over there at Viking Motorsports. So, those are the 2025 NASCAR Cup and Xfinity Series throwback paint schemes. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, and if I win a video, it does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Let's go below that and comment your thoughts below on today's episode. What's your favorite throwback paint scheme for this weekend? Let me know it in the comments below. In a couple hours, you're going to see the news video talk about all the news over the course of the last couple days. We're going to talk about the Dale Jr. and the trademark stuff that's been going on with Lamar Jackson. We've got Auto Club updates. We've got Connor Zilish news that broke. We've got Haley Deegan stuff maybe to talk about. Shane Van Gisbergen and Carl Lever stuff to talk about. Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, Shane Van Gisbergen stuff as well. Bubba Wallace and his stats. On retirement rumors for Kyle Busch, Junior Motorsports, 2011 front row, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, all the good stuff we'll be talking about on the channel over the course of the next couple days. Got a lot of great content dropping. We've got reactions to the NASCAR Xfinity race on Saturday, same with reactions to the Cup race on Sunday, and then of course on Monday we should have a NASCAR news video dropping as we head to Bristol next week, and we might have a video talking about Kyle Busch's future in just a short little bit in the next couple of weeks. And then of course silly season predictions should be coming out in about 2 weeks from now. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content, other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.